Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. Well, review. It's a topic, actually. Thanks to Deshonde. Thank you so much for that. First off, I apologize for the background noise. It'll either be the heater or this cooling fan underneath my laptop just to keep it cool and fine. Always have extra precautions for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of video, whether it be a topic, commentary, reaction, review, re-review, randomness, out of the blueness, wherever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now this is for, like I said, Deshonde, who asked me what film genres you would like to see make a comeback. Now, I had to think about that for a bit, because technically all genres I could speak of, you can still find them. Whether it be even Western, like there's I think Gina Carano is in a Western. I forget when it's coming out. Because I remember not minding the trailer for what it was. Horror, sci-fi, action, you just technically still find them, especially this day and age where you have so many mainstream, let alone independent, going to Netflix, going to Amazon, going to any type of VOD structure that every company now has, whether it be Disney Plus or Paramount Network or whatever it may be. So I had to tweet what he meant by certain parts of film genres. For example, one I put down was mainstream martial art movies. Now you can find them, very rarely direct to maybe a few like Scott Atkins, Michael Jai White type stuff, but like mainstream, you don't really find martial arts stuff. I can't even count like John Wick. John Wick, other than taking stuff down, there's a bit of fighting. There's a little bit of that, as well as gunplay and stuff. That's probably the closest you get into it. But if you mean like full-blown martial art films, even the early days of Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme when he was doing films like Lionheart and Bloodsport and Kickboxer, The Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman, Showdown Low Tokyo with Dolph Lundgren, back in the days when you had a Chuck Norris film, adventure and martial arts like Firewalker. You can't find those type of movies in mainstream. Because martial arts are kind of looked at as an old hat. Oh, it's like those films in the 80s, and, well, if that happens, there's got to be more to it. What more else is it? There's got to be something more else to it. There's just, Yeah, there could be gunplay and other stuff. Like, Above the Law has gunplay, and, other movies have, but you don't really find a lot of big mainstream martial arts movies anymore. There's not a lot of, like, think of what big martial arts stars do we have of the current era. The two that people mentioned would be Scott Atkins and Michael Jai White, and they're not even big mainstream stars. They're people that recognize who they are, but I don't know if you could call them completely mainstream. And that would be nice to see. Make some kind of comeback. I don't know how, and the fact of, if you make that type of film, people go, well, it seems like a film I've seen before. With, dozens of these movies that came out from PM Entertainment, or the days of, you had like Jeff Wincott and Don the Dragon Wilson, and Jet Speedman's other direct-to-video films, and Lauren Avedon, and what makes this stand out? What makes this different? It seems like that would be more of the case. And even back then, you had either the Karate Kid films or Ninja Turtle films, Three Ninjas, Surf Ninjas, Revenge of the Ninja. You don't really have that stuff nowadays. Fuck, the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles films had really no martial arts in them, for fuck's sake. It's got ninja in the title. So that seems like something that is looked at as old hat and blasé, and like I said, it would be nice to see a comeback of that. Second off is like bigger budgeted monster movies. whether it be practically driven, that be preferred. That's one of the reasons why I didn't mind a film like Underwater that came out a few years ago. It wasn't a fantastic movie, wasn't a classic, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was decent for what it was. It was just nice to see a decently made. Budget looked slick enough. Acting was serviceable enough. Decent monster movie, let alone underwater horror movie, monster flick that didn't look like a cheap direct-to-video VOD Sci-Fi Channel knockoff. And back in the day, you had monster movies like Tremors and even ones with CG like The Relic and Deep Rising, and you had the Blob remake from '88 and John Carpenter's The Thing in 1982, and you had that type of stuff, and that's not really a thing of today. Even like Predator, well, other than the shitty film like The Predator or Alien Covenant, that's just more trying to get the name, and it might be butcher the name, fucking whore out the name, horror out for $2. I mean, even films like Split Second went into theaters back in the day. Wasn't a lot of theaters, sadly. But like a film like Split Second or Tremors or stuff would not get a theatrical release nowadays, which is a shame. This film, I don't think would get a theatrical release nowadays. Leviathan, which I love to death. This film would not get a theatrical release nowadays. But I like to see more movies like this again. You get a good cast, a great set, done practically. In this case, it was Ron Cobb who worked on Alien. Enough slickness to feel like a theatrical picture from a big studio, in this case MGM, which MGM is barely a thing anymore. Yeah, that's not really a thing that you see done nowadays. Again, if they do, it's either a crappy sequel like Alien Covenant or The Predator, banking on the name, or, and my body even rejected those movies. Literally, I said those movies, my body went. It was an audible rejection of it. And then it did it again. Like, now my body's literally trying to fall apart thinking of those two fucking movies. Or years ago, you had like The Thing from 2011. Laughable as hell. But yeah, it'd be nice to see a practical, effects-driven movie on that status. It never happened, but it'd be nice to see. And yeah, I don't think it'll make much of a comeback because a lot of those movies I mentioned didn't do well. So why would they do it again if it didn't do well? It's like martial arts films, they were dying out, and yet you had a great film like Drive with Mark Dacascos, 1997. That's pretty much straight to video. Or this one called Broken Fist. Hey, that's pretty damn kick-ass action martial arts. Nah, it's just martial arts straight to video. Or of action movies, the great practical spectacle, like a cliffhanger. But I don't know what genre that would be. I really don't. But those big, practically stunt-driven... I mean, like the closest you got was maybe like Mission Impossible Fallout, which did well. Maybe some of the John Wick films, to a point, but nothing on cliffhanger level. Then yeah, you're never gonna see a movie like that again. Let alone like Rambo 3, which it's sad that movie's more relevant now concerning what's happening. Rambo 3's not relevant. Why? Well, because of Russia. It's more relevant. I'm trying to like what kind like okay, like martial arts and big budget like monster movies. Another one I wrote down was R-rated animation. And what I mean by that is stuff like heavy metal. from back to the day that would actually be this type of film released theatrically, and again, that'd be just labeled too much of a risk. Way too much of a risk, and they just go, well, just be down to VOD. And, that's fine, but at the same time, when they put something on VOD, not all, but a lot of times it's like, yeah, that's spent as much money on it. If they do, cool, but again, that's not really something you're going to see a whole lot more of. That popped in my head because my friend Affrey had requested me talk about this thing called The Goon, which was going to be made by Tim Miller and Jeff Fowler, produced by David Fincher. Looked like an interesting comic book, and it got canceled because they were doing it, and then Fox merged with Disney, and Disney said, nope, we're not doing any of this stuff. Because Pixar and that kind of animation is what wins out, and people go see it in theaters. But if you did a film like Heavy Metal, it probably would bomb. That's why you're just not going to see that kind of stuff anymore. Same with, if you do it well, I don't know if it's really a genre, but there was a movie called Amazon Women on the Moon. And movies like the Kentucky Fried Movie, or even the Onion movie. These comedies that was kind of all this random stuff put together and craziness that wasn't a big genre, but it's like, okay, it's kind of cool because it's like a mix of all different types of things. You get all these familiar people together, and then that got ruined because movie 43 came out and was such one of the worst comedies of all time. It just completely killed that concept. Completely killed it. And then the other movie, Inappropriate Movie, done by the same idiot that did that movie, the Underground comedy movie. Some of the worst comedies ever. But movies like Amazon Women on the Moon, kind of like a comedy anthology, could be cool, but shit like that ruined it. And like another one I wrote down is going to seem strange. It'd be interesting to see like a silent horror movie. What I mean by that is it'd be such a challenge for people out there. Like, I want you to make a horror movie, but it's got to be a silent horror movie. So that means you have to use tone, atmosphere, music, and really try to sell your audience on getting creeped out or afraid or scared. I think that came to mind because not so much the movie but the trailer for what the hell was that movie called? I gotta look it up real quick. God, what was that movie called? Begotten. There's a movie called Begotten. The movie itself I wasn't that impressed with. I didn't hate it, but it works better as a trailer than a movie. If you watch the trailer, and yeah, it has all these critic reviews in between. But like the creepy images and this subtle, unsettling music, it shows like visuals and music can be such an important tool. I think that should be a challenge for all filmmakers today. If you want to do a horror film, I want to see you try to do a horror film that's of a silent era. Because it's challenging. I think I think all directors nowadays need to challenge themselves. Because with dialogue and all this other stupid shit that people are saying, you're not impressing anybody. Especially me. You're not impressing shit. So I like to see more of that type of movie just to take some of the tools away from these directors and writers and I want to challenge you so you can learn what to do and what not to do. So that would be something that'd be interesting to witness. Chesmowski, what other genres are they? Western? I'm not a big Western guy. Mob movie? I mean, there's some mob movies I like, but I'm not yearning for that genre. I mean, comedies, like what genres in comedies? Spoofs? That got ruined for all the disaster movie, epic movie, Meet the Spartans. So if he even did a spoof movie, it would never be in the vein of Loaded Weapon 1 or Airplane or Hot Shots again. So, like, what other genres of comedy are there? Buddy movies, buddy cop films. Well, I mean, I got the Bad Boys 3 was good, and that's the thing with any of these genres. It just has to be also if they're well done, if they're well made. And I think there's a lot more people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. So it doesn't matter if a genre comes back. If it's not well made, then it don't mean jack squat. So yeah, I would love to see martial arts like Enter the Game of Death, a movie like that to be made and come out in today's age. Like those Bruceploitation type, those type of kung fu movies. Old school, go in, kick everybody's ass. There's a tower, you go up the tower. So kind of like Dread, the Raid Redemption, but a guy going up your Badoga, kicking everybody's ass. I mean, just. Or a movie in the vein of like Cannibal Run, where you did all these familiar people together for one big event movie, action, comedy, whatever, and just have fun. And you get all these people. It's like, wow, it's that person, that person, that person. They're having, like, they tried to do that with Rat Race, and Rat Race was fun for what it was. But like back in the day, you had Cannibal Run 1 and 2. Before that, probably It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which is a very, very long movie and long title. But yeah, again, it'd have to. It'd have to depend on how well the project is done. Because if it's not done well, it just. But I'm assuming like if it's done well, that's some of the stuff I would like to see make a comeback. But we're in the world of superhero movies and comic book films and requels and prequels and sequels and sequels and requels and remakes and reboots and remakes and reboots and requels and comic book superhero comic book superhero movies, and that's all we can get. And just how it is. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.